Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Community Solutions. The last Wednesday of the month, we talk about things that impact you here in your community, some of the nonprofit activities that are taking place, some of the things that are going on, and some of the things that are happening. So if you've got any kind of questions or concerns, too bad. But if they're concerns, Mike will handle it for you. And
Sure.
And if you're going to talk about something good, then we'll take those calls. No, it's a fun show. Last Wednesday, the United Way helps us with it, and is been behind this effort for some period of time. Kind of just getting the word out there on what's going on in the community, some of the activities that are taking place. And that's a great thing for us because there are so many activities that are taking place, so many things that are happening, and a lot of good things are going on. So it's great to have an opportunity to talk about them and share, because sometimes they go on behind the scenes and we don't always have an opportunity to know exactly what's happening, what some of the things are that are taking place. My name is Mark Breckbill, and I'm a local CPA, and I'm here with Kathy Stacy from the United Way. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
And so we're gonna field any of your questions. 220-9788, 220-WSTU. But this morning we're going to talk about a couple things. There was a National Service Day that was yesterday, I think, and Kathy's going to give us a little information on that here in a minute as we get started. And then also we have Curl Campbell from the Cain Center, and many of you are familiar with the Cain Center and know what's going on out there and some of the things that are happening and are taking advantage of the Cain Center. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. And Curl's going to be giving us some information. She's kind of new to the Cain Center, so that'll be it'll be kind of interesting to get her impression of the Cain Center from as a person new to that center,
But not new to Martin County.
right? Not new to Martin County, but new to that to the Cain Center, and it'll be interesting because many of us have, we don't always realize what's going on out there, and when we see what's happening and some of the things that are going on individually within the center, it's kind of eye-opening. But of all of the things that are done out there and the things that take place, so we're going to talk to Curl here in a minute, and then we're going to quiz her afterwards so that she can answer all these questions. So. To get the show started, I guess the first thing that we should do, because we always do this the first time we have a new person on the show that hasn't been on the radio show before, is we just throw the show to you, Curl. It's yours. Go ahead. Take it.
Oh, well, good morning. What a surprise.
No, we wouldn't do that to you. Go ahead.
I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here this morning, and it's amazing to see how the volunteers come together in the community and their passion to serve.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing, and just kind of Kathy kind of hinted at it, but you're new to the Cain Center, but not new to Martin County. You've been around for a while here, huh?
Yes, I've previously lived in Martin County for about, in Port St. Lucie for about 6 years, but I worked previously for Martin County Engineering. So yes, I am familiar with Martin County.
So you literally know where everything's buried, right?
Yes, to some point.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it's interestingly enough, were you involved in the original Cain Center from the county side when it was put together?
No, I was not. No.
Okay, it was an interesting project because of the technology that was built into that building when it was originally built. A lot of people didn't understand, and because a lot of the operating costs were involved in were pushed into a lot of technology, high-speed internets and phone system things that made it very that allowed them to do some things there, and other technology and electrical connections and things like that that allowed them to do some things that hadn't been done before, and things that they're doing now, like medical things and a lot of things that they're doing from this standpoint. And so people didn't understand the technology cost that was in there, that was built into some of the construction, and why the building was expensive. but it was because of some of the things that they were planning for, which now have kind of come to fruition, and it's been very successful in terms of what's going on out there. So that's kind of interesting, and it is a kind of a cool thing. But I'm going to flip back here for a second because yesterday was National Service Day, whatever it was. Kathy, what was it yesterday?
It was National Service Recognition Day.
Oh, okay. I don't want to recognize anybody, but go ahead. So what happened? You guys had an event, right?
We had a wonderful event. It was an initiative for the Corporation for National Service for our Retired and Senior Volunteer Program to showcase how seniors address community issues. So working with our partners at the Treasure Coast Food Bank, we packaged over 15,000 meals for students in the Tri-County area to go into their backpacks on Friday afternoon so they had nutritious food over the weekend. And then we did 390 senior boxes at the same time.
Really? Wow.
We did. Sorry. And just as a little side note, someone looks like they are very excited for the Easter Bunny to show up here at the studio.
Yeah. That's
Pittsburgh Deb came in and decorated the studio for the week.
Yeah, really?
Uh-huh.
I can tell. We got Minnie and Mickey up here on the wall, and Donald and Daisy, so that's good too. They're all ready to go with their Happy Easter, and this is a very, very festive location this morning.
Every holiday gets festive around here.
Yeah,
it gets better and better.
That's right.
You can tell Deb that her poster is going to be gone here because I really like this.
It's very cool,
and it will greatly impress my grandkids. So
hey, back off! I already claimed it for my wife.
Yeah, she can't have.
I
it.
thought your wife might have done it. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we had National Service Recognition Day.
Yes.
And so all the old people in the community got together, and I hate that you call those seniors. I'm not a senior. I refuse to be a senior.
Really sexy, vibrant people.
Oh, okay, good.
So
good.
there you go.
That's what it stands for, RSVP. Now that's what I like.
And we are very sore today, let me tell you. So it was really, really great. It was a wonderful event. It actually was on the news yesterday. And then I didn't stay up for the late news because I was so tired I went to bed. But it was on the front page of the Stuart News today, so it was really neat. We invited some of those who did not qualify for the RSVP program because they were too young. But it's a great conversation starter for young people because they don't realize how many children are in need. There are only 258 children in Martin County who need those services, but for those 258 children, that is huge.
Yeah.
The seniors need it as well. So the senior boxes were it was the first time we've done those. They were in excess of 30 pounds a box. So that was really a struggle. We did invite the Sheriff's Department put together a team, and they chuckled when I said, these boxes are heavy. And they looked at me and laughed, and they struggled. So it was funny. They were women, not that to downplay the women's strength because we are tough, but it was heavy. It was heavy. But now, it was a great event.
Are those boxes, are some of those boxes going to the Meals on Wheels program, or are they? Because I know we pack hurricane boxes for that type of thing, right?
We did last year. We did hurricane bags last year, and that was such a great event that I'm not sure if we'll repeat it again this year. But it was to get the clients a hurricane preparedness pack should something happen. And of course, we all know what a wild winter it was. That, I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers and I am checking my generator.
Oh, you're talking about
this year.
Yeah, that could be.
So, but the Kane Center does receive some of those senior care packs.
Yes, we do.
And but everything goes back to the Treasure Coast Food Bank, and they disseminate it. So we really just provide the labor, but it is huge. I mean, it is a big undertaking.
And how many boxes?
We did 390 yesterday. Well, we tried to do 390 yesterday, but we did 15,000 meals for the children. So we did get all the meals done. I can honestly say we did not get all the senior boxes done.
15,000 meals.
Yes, yes. And it had a can of ravioli, macaroni and cheese, SpaghettiOs, milk, juice, cereal. It had 2 kinds of cereal in it. So,
cool.
it takes them through the weekend.
Yeah.
So, and every time we do it, it always has the protein and it always has the juice and the milk and breakfast. And sometimes it has like raisins and snack bars and stuff like that as well. So I've done that many times. I laugh because they keep saying I'm getting to be a pro at it. But it is an assembly line type event and very well you have to have it well organized or it's going to be a disaster.
Right.
But we had 14 tables with about 8 to 10 people at a table, and then you have people that are stalkers and baggers and
Oh, I'll be a stalker.
distribution.
Oh, no, stalker.
Stalker.
Oh, sorry.
Stalker.
I got confused there. I thought I was going to be a stalker.
But you have to be so careful that the people that are even opening the packages don't slice the tops of the boxes open, and
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things that people never think about. So.
But the big thing is a lot of people don't realize that effort took place.
Right.
I mean, you got some publicity from it.
We did.
But we have a lot of things like that go on. As most of our listeners know, because they've listened to the show before. Kathy runs the volunteer program and for United Way, and so as a result, there's a lot of volunteer activities that a number of people, and we always kid about seniors, and there's a number of people that participate of all ages. We have kids that participate in certain activities. It's kind of Kathy's the go-to person if you've got an event where you need some volunteers. Everything from dancing in the streets to the Christmas parade to whatever. She can round up some people who want to participate and help out, and all going for charity. And so it's kind of a cool thing the way that people just get involved. And one of the things we don't talk about quite as much as we should on the show is that if you're listening, and right now we're kind of at the end of season. Traditionally Easter kind of is the end of season here, regardless of when it falls. So we're coming up to that time when some people will be going back up north and maybe not coming down again for a while. So they stop their volunteer activities. We do need a lot of volunteers, and some of the activities that we're going to get into, like at the Cain Center and Meals on Wheels and some of the things that take place there, that goes on all year long, and we lose a lot of volunteers. So it's important to kind of talk about, to get that out there if you're interested in doing something. Some of us kind of, we're backing away because everybody's active right now with businesses and nonprofit agencies this is also their big fundraising time when they're getting out and doing a lot of events. But coming up is a real opportunity for you to get involved in the community, and we really need your help. And so if you're looking for something to do over the summer months, you don't have to be a senior volunteer. You can be a sexy person, and we'll let you do that instead.
Well, Curl and I have a challenge that we're going to put out to people too. But I do want to say that if you are a senior or not a senior, and actually yesterday we had a group of children that were homeschooled. So I get emails all year long from these kind of groups. And so I reached out and invited them because it was a great conversation for the kids to talk about other children. But there are a lot of volunteers who are at home who do one thing and go, oh, I could have helped with that. So it's a good time for us to reach out to them and grab them. But Curl and I have come up with some innovative ways to reach out to other people to assist in the summer.
Have.
So we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay. Well, so one of the things that I was going to mention is that if you do have an interest in certain types of charities or activities, if maybe you're a runner, maybe you're involved in you got a soft spot for dogs and cats or whatever the deal is, they got a place for you. And we've got all these things that are taking place around. For example, some of us down here can't have pets in our home. We're not allowed to because the association doesn't allow it. but we have a place here locally where you can go and kind of foster a cat or a dog. You can go there in the afternoon and play with them, and then and help out a little bit, and then go away. And you got your own little foster animal. So there's that kind of thing. There's all kinds of stuff, and you can have a lot of fun with it, and do things that you are passionate about. And it doesn't necessarily mean spending a lot of money. You can spend a little time and still accomplish it. It's great when on, like, let's go on the pet situation, on the dogs and cats, you save the dogs and cats. It's great, but then, if they're lonely because there's nobody there to adopt them or play with them, and you can foster them, maybe you can't adopt them, but you can foster them. It's really pretty neat. So there's all of those kind of things, and I will tell you that a lot of the activities that you get involved in, like Kathy said, the young people in the community, they're always looking for volunteer hours. Well, it's an opportunity for young people to actually give back, which they do around here. We have kids that get involved not solely because they need the volunteer hours. Because just go look at some of these kids on scholarship applications, and they've got like 12 times the number of hours that you actually need to qualify for any kind of scholarship. So they're not doing it for the scholarship thing. They're doing it because they get involved and they want to be involved. And, these are the next leaders. And they get out and they get active in these events. And there's a real opportunity for them to give back. And they learn about some of the people that are less fortunate, some of the things that go on in the community, some of the things that take place in the community. And it's great. As a senior, there's which is not me, but those others. There's the opportunity to get out there and actually a lot of times help people who are even older than us, and give them some help, and that actually makes us feel good because the nice thing about Florida is you live a long time when you're here. And for those of you that are thinking about going back up north again, consider the fact that the people that live here permanently live a long, long, long time. So you may want to consider that maybe this healthy environment down here is a better place to be than that smog-infested community that you're going back to.
And we are busy down here.
Yes, we have lots of things going on. Or at least come back and visit us in the summer some. So anyway, that's some of the things that are going on. And you can call Kathy and give her a call at 283-4800. And so 283-4800 is the number there at the United Way for Kathy, and she can you can ask for Kathy, and she'll take care of you and get you all squared away. So go ahead and give her a call, and then and tell she'll sit down and do a little analysis over the phone or whatever, and kind of figure out what you want to do, what you like to do, and she'll kind of give you an idea of what's out there and what's coming up and what you might want to participate in. So don't forget to do that. 283-4800 is 772, of course. 283-4800 is her number there at the United Way. So, Carl, let's we'll turn here to the Cain Center. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. Mike, you want to just take a quick one here?
Sure.
And for those of you that are out there listening, don't go away. Go ahead and write the number down, 220-9788, 220-WSTU, in case you have a question or you want to call in and ask something. We'll be here doing that. And right now, we'll just take a quick break. All right, you're listening to Community Solutions here on WSTU every Wednesday from 9 to 10 o'clock, or I should say the last Wednesday of the month from 9 to 10 o'clock. We join the United Way to talk about the things that are taking place in the community, some of the activities that are taking place. And, of course, if you've got questions or want to call about anything, you can. It's a community service program, so 220-9788, 220-WSTU. We'll be happy to try to answer the question or get some information to you. But today we've been talking a little bit about the volunteer program and the senior volunteer program that takes place that Kathy Stacy's involved with at the United Way called Martin Volunteers. And you can call her at 283-4800 if you want to participate in something, or even just to find out. You don't have to call her to participate. If you just want to find out what's going on from a volunteer standpoint and then make up your mind later, that's okay. You don't have to commit. She's pretty laid back. She's not going to twist your arm too hard. Well, I'm one-armed, but at this point, so I guess she hasn't twisted the other arm too much.
I've known you a long time.
That's true. So, I want to talk a little bit about the Cain Center, but and we'll get to that in 1 second. I want to put a plug in because I've thought about this twice now and I forgot. So I just want to mention, kind of on the radar so that you've got it, that coming up in April, Character Counts is having their golf tournament. And it's a major fundraiser for Character Counts. And we're going to do some of the same things we did last year. So there's a sponsorship opportunity where you can sponsor one of the prizes and then also have a foursome in the tournament. And there's going to be some auction items and some silent auction items. And then there's going to be the prizes, including, again, a number of hole-in-one prizes. Every par 3 will have a hole-in-one prize that you can win. There'll be, I think, a shopping spree, and I forget all of the individual things that are there. And the sponsorship of those are very reasonable. I think it's $1,000 to sponsor, and that includes your foursome and the whole bit. And then you can also sponsor the main hole-in-one prize, the fourth one, which is going to be a vehicle or vehicles valued at $65,000. So last year we had the Bentley, and that still could be a possibility, but more likely what we're going to have this year is potentially some his and her vehicles. So if you're out there, whether you're a his or her, and you've left your significant other back home, and you win, now she or he will be happy with you playing golf forever and ever. So because it'll be probably a $30,000 or $35,000 because they'll total $65,000. So there'll be 2 of them if we do that one, and we're looking at that. Maybe we've done things like his and her BMWs in the past, or Audis. That's an option maybe. Maybe some Mercedes coupes in case you want some of that, or we may just have a Porsche or something like that. There's some really nice cars to choose from, and we're gonna select the car pretty shortly. Motor Cars of Stewart is providing that, and so that sponsorship is still available. If you're interested in sponsoring that, it's only $1,500, and you'll be the one that'll be in the paper when they give the car away, and for the pictures and all that. So that's pretty cool, and you'll get really good at placement and a foursome in the tournament. So you got a chance to actually win those cars or that car, and again, it'll be worth at least $65,000. So that's pretty cool. And then also, whoever gets the closest to winning the car, including if they actually win the car on that hole, they will get a second chance from approximately the same distance. They will get a second chance at $100,000. So if they get a hole-in-one, they win $100,000. There's also a putting contest that is there for, I think it's $2,500 for a putting contest. Yeah, one person will get to putt for $2,500. So it is a fun tournament. It's a lot of there's a lot of things going on, a lot of activities, a lot of good sponsorships, because the sponsorships include the foursomes. So therefore, you can get your company to sponsor, get a tax deduction, and then if you've got a foursome, they can play for free. So it's kind of cool. So make sure you put that on your calendar. That's for the end of April. You can contact Holly Laban at the United Way. Holly will, she'll take your information for sponsorship, or if you want to sign up for foursomes, there's other opportunities to sign up for foursomes and do all that kind of thing. So I just want to mention that's on the horizon here. It's always a big event. We raise a lot of money.
You have not signed up your foursome, I know for a fact.
You do, huh?
I do.
I have to wait to see who signs up because it's not about how you play; it's about who's playing. That's how you. We won this thing last year, and we're going to win it again this year. But even though I say it's all because of me, it is not. So, but I will tell you, Kathy, you need to make sure you save the date because I think you'll be doing some babysitting.
I hope so.
So anyway. But yeah, we'll get ours in there, and we'll have a lot of fun, and there are prizes for gross and for net, and we do a couple fun things but nothing that really changes the outcome of the game considerably. I mean, we have some mulligans, but they're fun mulligans. They're kind of team mulligans where you use them all at the same time. So
Did you give them the date?
No, because I don't remember.
April 27th.
April 27th. Okay, so it's April 27th. And it will be out at Monarch again, and so it's a lot of fun. And make sure that you remember the date. So all right, so let's talk Cain Center. So Carl, you some of the things that I know you're kind of getting into the program, getting immersed in the program. That's kind of cool. Just as a person getting back into into that or into the community, and getting back specifically into the Cain Center or getting into the Cain Center. What kind of things have you noticed right away that you thought were kind of cool about the Cain Center? What are some of the opportunities people have that you guys offer that are pretty neat?
Well, for one, when you say the Cain Center, everybody knows the Cain Center. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, what I have seen is the participation, the willingness to want to come in and volunteer.
Yeah.
I've heard many, many great things about the Cain Center, and being there and just being with the Cain Center family, it's a great experience. And with that being said, we had yesterday our 34th annual volunteer recognition luncheon, which was the very first one that I put together, and it was amazing. We have over 500 volunteers that serve the Martin County seniors, and we got a really, really nice turnout on yesterday, but we have a lot of volunteers that are traveling up north. Mm-hmm. So there would have been more, but it was a lot, and I can appreciate the response. So it was really a great feeling, and to actually see the volunteers that come forward, even in our Meals on Wheels program, we have a couple that are in their 90s. And they still volunteer, and they want to do it, and they don't want to stop. They enjoy it.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a friend of mine one time years ago tell me that if you're a guy and you can drive after 90 at night, you can have any woman you want, is what I'm told. So if you're 90 and you're driving or helping out for Meals on Wheels, man, that's a sexy person. You're talking about being a sexy person. So.
Well, one of the funny things that I have discovered, and I'm sure it was probably a surprise to Curl, was some of the volunteers that will not come to your recognition event are those that are volunteering on the day that you have it.
Yeah.
They always say, I am so sorry, but that's my volunteer day. I cannot come.
I got that yesterday.
It is surprising. Yeah, they are dedicated volunteers.
Yes, they are.
And you also had the issue that we do have Easter coming up, and a lot of people have started, when you have Easter early in the season, a lot of people start going up,
Yes.
As a tax preparer, getting involved in the tax season. It's interesting because when Easter falls after the 15th, when it falls late, or around that time, a lot of times the people will consider then, I'm not going to go up north to file my taxes. They'll actually, that's kind of when they make the decision sometimes. I've been wanting to switch. I'm down here, so maybe I'll just do that down here. And so, but a lot of times when it's early like this, they're going up for two things. One for Easter because they got the family together, and then the other is to get their taxes done. And they've already sent some stuff up, so they're going up there to sign or whatever. And but it's kind of funny because the timing of that really does affect a lot of things. And we have a fixed season where we have a lot of events that occur on specific weekends during the season. And when Easter changes and the season gets shorter, it does cut it off on some of those events. It makes a huge difference. Golf course type things in April, it makes a huge difference if if you still got people around. We always, thank goodness, have the Canadians because they never go back in April.
That's right.
It's still cold there, and so we have them forever, and so that's a good thing. But I know, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with the Cain Center, and there's a few people, it's interesting. I had a friend of mine who's a longtime resident, and his wife has had some issues, and he was, and he himself was taking advantage of the Cain Center, and hadn't done it before, and so a lot of times people don't realize. But what's really neat about the Cain Center is that it's its own. It's its own community, and there's actually kind of two sides to the building. There's a side where you're doing yoga and dance and all kinds of activities and entertainment, and it's just wild, wild stuff going on over there.
Concerts,
yes. The whole bit, right?
Yep.
And then the other side of it is a lot of. Is a little bit more contained because it handles some of the people that may have some Alzheimer issues or dementia issues, and so they have some care over there for that.
That is the adult day club,
right?
Yes.
And they have some physical activities that take place there, and I tell you, it's tremendous. They do a tremendous job with that. Now, it's not an Alzheimer's care facility. There are other places in the community that deal specifically with Alzheimer's if you're at that advanced stage. But for people who have dementia or need general care or maybe early stages of Alzheimer's or even into the maybe but not such that they have to be watched all the time or get very advanced Alzheimer's. There's a lot of things to do in there, and there is there's food in there. There's a restaurant that even if you don't go to either one of the two sides, you just want to come in and eat. They have a cool place.
The bistro.
The
I
bistro,
love that.
and it's really neat. It's you would never imagine. It's like going to a little kind of a little shopping area and just going into the restaurant and eating food and having it's really neat. And then there's now a medical clinic in there, which has been wildly successful. And that was one of the problems is that, a lot of times people can't get transportation to their doctor or whatever, or it was very inconvenient if you had a parent that you were taking care of and you had to leave them, and then you had to go get them and take them to the doctor and then bring them back. And, of course, you're missing work the whole time. And the Cain Center does that. Now they have that kind of care there. You can have that taken care of. There is one of the things that was, and I talk about it from time to time because it's one of those kind of things where people don't really realize. There was a lady in the community for a number of years, Bobby Trimble, and Bobby was involved in so many things from a philanthropic standpoint. Most people didn't really know who she was because she didn't ask for any recognition. In fact, the only reason I'm probably able to talk about her right now is because she's not here. She passed away. But I'd probably gotten a phone call to tell me to shut up. But I'm not going to because she's a tremendous lady, and she's helped so many organizations in Martin County. I mean, tremendous amount of help for a lot of things. And everything from just big things at Molly's house and other places to the Cain Center. She actually funded and paid for the community shower that exists. And you say, what the heck? What? Because when you have a significant other or spouse or somebody like that that has Alzheimer's and has issues, taking a bath or shower at home is very unsafe. because most people's homes are not geared for getting somebody in and out. You can't let them in there by yourself.
Right.
And you can't leave them, and it's very, very difficult. And so what she did is designed or had them the Kane Center add a shower so that if you've got, if you're a senior person with your spouse, you're there taking advantage of the place, but you've got some issues where somebody can't go and take the shower by themselves. There's a community shower there, so at least once or twice or 3 times a week or whatever that you can go there. You have that opportunity, and you don't have to take the risk of trying to do it at home. I mean, frankly, what happens is a lot of times the man has issues before the woman, and so a lot of time we've talked about why that happens. But the man has problems before the woman, or at least they claim they do, and so so you've got typically a smaller person trying to help this larger person take care of themselves. And so a lot of the daily chores, it keeps them from having to bring in somebody to help, which they have to pay for. So it's really pretty neat. And that kind of thing, I mean, just to think that somebody like Bobby thought about that, she thought about that, and she put the money up to do that so that would be another service that's available at the Kane Center. So that kind of thing, there's all of these really, really neat things
Absolutely.
that are taking place out there. And one of the things that I know is really pretty neat is that that you have some professionals on staff that if I'm coming in there to come into the adult daycare, the adult care program, I actually am gone through a small assessment. I fill out some information. They learn about my health issues.
Right.
They determine what I'm capable of doing and what I should be doing, and they of course confirm it with my doctor. And so that's really pretty neat too, that they actually that even though it's a really fun place, they are dealing with some of the health issues that you might have to look at. So I just kind of wanted to let people know as to what the Kane Center's like. It's not a place that you would think of.
And it's beautiful.
It's
it
beautiful.
is.
When you walk in, and it has all these little kiosks, and
It's like a village
it
when
is.
you walk in.
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So I know one of the things it is a unique building, and it does take and there's a lot of activities that take place there. What amazes me is that the cost is not that great. What's the current? Do you know what the current cost is? I think it was like $65 a week. I think is what it used to be for the adult day care program. So
She's new.
I know. I
This
think
was a test.
I think it's right around that amount. And when you think about it, that's all week. It's is it gone
I
up?
think it's
Nick?
a little more.
But it's very, very cheap. When you talk about what you would pay for that type of care for your kids or anything else, and this is a situation where a lot of the people that are there also have some issues that they have to deal with with their health. So anyway, it's really kind of a cool thing, and I really am amazed at how neat it is. So. What other things have you got, Curl, that you wanted? You talked a little bit about the volunteers, and that's really a unique thing. And I know you and Kathy got something up your sleeve, and so for you that's not easy because you're wearing short sleeves. So, but anyway. Go ahead.
Well, being the volunteer coordinator, I touch on every department. So with that being said, you have all the schedules and for each area that we have volunteers. We have of course, Meals on Wheels, the Adult Day Club, special events that we have, the bistro, the kitchen, any clerical or office assistance that is needed. And we're also the natural disaster, we're the center for hurricane.
Right. I forgot to mention, because you just touched on it, you have a chef on
Yes, we do.
You have a chef, and these are not institutional meals.
No,
These are unbelievably cooked nutritional meals, right?
daily.
And a lot of farm to table type stuff. Really, really quality food. In fact, if you're planning an event, you can actually talk to the Cane Center. They may have a room for you to use. They've got a couple little things there, and you can actually have small events. They have a conference room that you can have catered by their facility there, and I'm telling you, the food is amazing what you get there, and that's
It's
what
a lot that goes
Isn't
on
it?
at the Cane Center.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't it the Francis Langford room
Yes.
that they rent out?
Yeah.
So yes,
For weddings, yes,
And
absolutely.
and if
It
you
has a
haven't
big
thought,
stage, it's beautiful.
and you can have the entertainment, and then they've got the and like I said, they've got a chef there that's unbelievable, and the food, the quality is amazing, and it really is it. And that's the same food, by the way, that they're serving in the bistro. So it's not exactly the same. There's other meals that are cooked specially for it, but that they're cooking for the bistro, and that's the point. You're
Yes.
not going in and picking up a bunch of carbs necessarily, and just grabbing some cookies and a bag of chips.
That's right.
They've got a lot of healthy options in there that if somebody really does want to eat and has dietary issues, whether it's sugar issues with diabetes or salt or gluten or all those kind of things, they can handle that, which is really pretty neat. And not only that, but they're trained professionals, so they also understand some of those
Yes.
things. So that's pretty cool. And I wanted to mention that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but go
that's
ahead.
okay. That's
Get
quite
off
right.
track?
Yes.
And so all the areas that I mentioned, we use volunteers. So with that, and along with Meals on Wheels, we have about over 400 volunteers in that area. We deliver about 300 hot lunches every day. We have about 27 routes. So with that, all of that, sometimes when you have your volunteers that are leaving for the season, there's a need. There's a great deal of a
Right.
need there. So that's probably of the entire facility our biggest need.
Yeah, and that is tough because it's difficult. You got to have somebody that has a car that can drive, and
And a
that-
lot of the seniors are relying on us.
Right.
They are waiting. Some need to take medication, and they're waiting for us to show up. So
Right.
a lot of times it might become stressful when there's a route that's going uncovered. We have to go out and do that ourselves just to make sure, because a lot of our seniors, we may be the only one that they see for that day, the only one that will give conversation. And I happened to go out on a Meals on Wheels route just to see how it was, and I'm such a water bag, so my emotions were up there, and I thought, wow, I probably could not get through a route because I would probably want to talk, just stay longer, and people would wonder what happened to their meals because I'm hung up at another place.
Right.
But it is such a joy to see because they're waiting for you, and they're so appreciative of it.
Right. Yeah, it is pretty. It's a great activity, and it's amazing how many people actually are served. You said 27 routes, right?
About 27 routes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, and I don't know how many people are on each route, but it's
Sometimes we have about 15 on a route, and when it becomes more than that, we start to split a route because
Yeah.
a lot of people are now signing up more and more for Meals on Wheels, even the Cane Cuisine. So
yeah.
And the problem is, if they have to make so many stops, they don't have a chance to be able to chat for 10 or 15 minutes at each place.
Right.
So Curl and I have gotten together, and I know United Way has agreed to pick up a route this summer. I think we said May 1st we're going
Yes,
to pick up a route.
May.
We're going to challenge all the other nonprofit agencies to see what routes are available near their office, so that what we're going to do is take 2 of our employees, and so for 2 weeks in a row, we're going to go get the meals, and those same 2 employees are going to deliver them 2 weeks in a row. And then another 2 from our agency are going to do it 2 weeks in a row. So that'll take us throughout the whole summer to pick up a route near United Way, and we'll do it on our lunch hour. So our CEO, Carol Dietz, HD, has allowed us to do it. So our agency is going to pick up a route in the summer. So we want to challenge all the other nonprofits to help the Cane Center by picking up a route, depending upon how many employees they have. And there's Jensen Beach, and there's Hope Sound, and there's Palm City. So we're putting that challenge out there to them. Curl is getting me the routes and who's leaving and who's going to be around. And we also actually, because we have students who need hours, we've put that out there to the students and an adult who can do it. We did it during Thanksgiving, and I had Carrie, who was before Curl, saved me 2 or 3 routes, I think, and they were filled up in no time by people who wanted to deliver during Thanksgiving.
And
so it was
if
really neat.
If there are youth that are not driving, we have other things, help in the kitchen, the crate packing, actually preparing the boxes for, or the crates for the drivers to come in and pick up to deliver.
Oh, really? Oh, put that on an opportunity, because I do have those kids. Perfect.
And
But
well-
yeah, so there's just a ton of different things that they can do. And it's really recruiting all those volunteers, and seniors love to do it, as well as you and I.
Yeah, that's
So-
cool. And I'll throw the challenge out there for Project Lift. You got to test those cars sometimes when you're out there. After you've repaired those things, you got to drive them around. So
There you
maybe you
go.
should just drive them around.
Oh, that's awesome.
So on the Meals on Wheels, right? Drive those things around.
And they don't have to commit to doing it all the time. They can be substitute drivers. When I have people who say, I think I want to do it, but I'm not sure I can
Right.
commit, I always tell them, be a substitute driver. If you want to be a substitute driver, you can fill in for someone who may be away for a week or two.
And I
So-
have to add that the substitute drivers, they're awesome opportunities, because Kathy, you sent me someone, and the day you sent him to me, he went on a route he went to as a ride along, and the next week we actually needed him to cover that route.
Oh, perfect.
And it worked out, and that was the area that he was looking for, so it was amazing.
Wonderful. Glad
Yeah,
to do it.
That's pretty cool. And so there's all these opportunities out there, and it's and of course the Meals on Wheels is a big thing that we have a problem with in the summer. There's just no question about it, because we have all these volunteers in the season, and then in the summer it just people go back up north, and we're counting on them, because the people in those homes are counting on them.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that our nonprofits struggle with. Kathy does a lot of work to try to provide volunteers, but it's very, very difficult, because that volunteer pool contracts by 2/3 during the summer. So you've got your core volunteers that are here year round, but that do a lot of work. But the bottom line is that we need that help. And speaking of that, and things that we use volunteers for that make a huge difference, is the citizen review panels that we have coming up for United Way. And what that's about is that we have, for those of you that don't know how the process works, United Way has their drive, and everybody's familiar with that campaign, and that money goes in, and then the United Way doesn't fund agencies, so we don't give money to the Kane Center, or we don't give money to Project Lift. We don't do it to the agency. What we do is we design it to go to an individual program, and so an individual program is funded. And what happens is that we have a group of citizens, not people that are United Way. They're a group of volunteers, a group of citizens who get together, and they review these programs. They volunteer to go out, and it's only a couple days, and you can kind of pick which group you want to be involved with. And what they do is they go out. You get a little packet of information ahead of time from the agency of what program that they're looking for, and what they're looking for funding for, and what their goals are with the program, and what they expect to accomplish, and all of that kind of thing. Very specific, meaningful goals and measurable objectives. And then you go out and you do a site visit, and then when you come back, you evaluate that program. In that particular program, from a funding standpoint, you just rank them. You're not saying how much they should get. You're basically just saying, here's how we rank these programs within this, in terms of how the goals that United Way might be trying to accomplish, which might be education, might be health, or whatever that they're specifically looking for. And it's really a great process. First of all, you learn a lot about the organization, and so that's really nice. And second of all, you have you also have the opportunity to make a difference and to determine where your funds are going, because all of us, if we're not, should be contributing to United Way. and allowing that money to go to a good cause. And you have the ability to have input into where that money goes and how it's spent, which is fantastic. I mean, it's tremendous opportunity. Some people think that the United Way board is really designating where this money's going. They're not. It's volunteers within the community. Everybody that's listening here can have an opportunity to say where that money's going to go. And the board determines general funding needs. They say, here, we got a pool of dollars, and this percentage is going to health, and this percentage is going to education. And now here's the programs within here, and we're going to dole it out to those programs based on how you rank them. So there's a huge opportunity. If you're interested in getting involved in the Citizens Review panels, contact the United Way quickly because it's getting started.
Rachel Terlizzi,
Yes, give Rachel a call.
772-283-4800.
Right. So give her a call, and she'll get you on a panel, and that's coming up real quickly. Curl, thanks for coming in. We appreciated
for having me.
talking a little bit about Kane Center. Kathy, always enjoy you coming in and talking about what's going on at the United Way.
I'll be back.
Get involved. If you're not involved, get involved. Those of you that are involved, thank you very much. And
Happy Easter, everyone.
Yep. And thanks for joining us here on Community Solutions, WSTU Digital 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Thanks, girl. We always run out of